What's something the internet killed that you miss? Having a mental catalog of great jokes that most people hadn't heard. It was so much fun to drop a few at parties and get some laughs. I remember how people like that were always the best to have around. They were like joke wizards. That was me. Now it only works with my parents and other baby boomers. Going through life without worrying about somebody taking a video of you and positing it for everybody to see. This one. I feel like I missed out in college because anytime the slightest thing happened at college, people would instantly whip their phones out. And this was 6 years ago. I can't imagine what kids go through now. Anytime the slightest thing happened at college, people would instantly whip their phones out. It's been 25 years since I was in college. I wish we had phones with cameras back then. A lot of faded memories of people and places that I wish I had photos of. If you were exceedingly dumb or had terrible ideas, your reach was really only your direct circle of friends. Now idiots can broadcast their ideas across the planet with a click. The village idiots have gone global, and now they can congregate. I'm seeing a few people say movie rental stores. I think specifically the moment when mom and dad say, let's go rent movies tonight, and you knew you were in for a night of staying up late and eating junk food. Those were the days, man. Note, my first silver. Note 2, man oh man, my first gold. I knew Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back was going to positively impact my future. Yep. My parents would give us a rating limit and let each of us choose one so we could watch them during the weekend. It was always a fight to the death who got their movie Friday night. Video game secrets. It was really cool hearing kids talk about, if you beat every person in a row without losing, you fight a secret boss in Street Fighter 2. And the only way you'd actually know for sure is if it happened in front of you. And being the first to speed news of secrets and Easter eggs among your group of friends. Now you can look up whatever you want to know and where to find any object in almost every game there is. I miss playground rumors. And when games had genuine mystery. User-generated web content with no thought to advertising. Search engine optimization. Monetizing. SEO is an industry I would love to see die in a fire. It has the worst incentives. It encourages people to make garbage content stuffed with keywords and other tricks. I've seen people here on Reddit complain about how recipe sites have lots of bullshit fluff content that is entirely due to SEO. It also encourages an entire scam industry of people who claim to know all the new tricks. Whenever Google decides to change their opaque processes algorithms, I've seen small business owners fork over thousands of dollars for SEO. Yeah, screw SEO. There is now a work culture of always being reachable by email or text for whatever happens. A lot of places expect you to be pretty much on call even when you're not at the office anymore. I worked at an ad agency where days off sometimes didn't even feel like that, because I would still be getting emails about things and was expected to be checking them. There should be some level of balance between work and personal life, and I feel like that is fading because so many places are adapting this type of culture, especially startups. I used to work at an accounting firm where that was the expectation. Never again. That shouldn't be acceptable. It isn't at my office. I'd never be okay with the boss calling me after work hours except in very rare circumstances. Got to have a work-life separation. France, I think, looking at making that illegal. This was something I struggled with, growing up with email and phones pretty much readily available. I tell people now my business hours are from 8 AM to 6 PM. Unless it's a dire emergency, I won't respond outside those hours or on weekends. It has honestly been so freeing. No one is entitled to my time except me. Sure, people hate that attitude, but I refuse to live the rest of my life with one arm chained to work. Saturday morning cartoons. As I get older, I realize the ritual of a thing is just as important as the actual thing itself. It's not just about the cartoons. Watching them as an adult, many of the cartoons from the 80s and early 90s were terrible. Rather, it was the event of Saturday morning cartoons that I miss. My daughters can watch whatever they want, whenever they want to watch it. They don't know what it is like to have to wait for a week for a new episode. They usually just binge their shows whenever they want. If my kids want to spend the entire weekend watching My Little Pony, They can. And they can do it the week after, too. They don't know what it is like to miss an episode of Power Rangers, because it was now scheduled at 7 AM instead of 6:30 and I had to leave for school. They also don't have to watch TV together. They can just watch whatever on their phones or tablets or on the TV in the living room. Nothing, except my wife and I, stop them from consuming the specific entertainment that they want. Edit. A straight period was bugging me. My dad says he misses having arguments with friends, which could only be resolved by phoning whoever was most knowledgeable on a subject. For example, did you know lightning travels upwards? No, it goes down. Let's phone your dad, he's a meteorologist. I miss that, the sense of wonderment and imagining how something could work. Now, I can instantly end it with a search. I also miss the simplicity of doing something. For so many things, I find myself researching the multitude of ways to tackle something and feeling overwhelmed. Before, it would be one way, from a book. Yard sales, garage sales and flea markets. People still have them, but it's way harder to find stuff at a good price. eBay and Amazon have ruined that, because everybody just looks up what things are selling for. And sometimes eBay is ridiculously inflated. I found a rare Nerf gun that we had been looking for at a flea market once, and the lady was charging $150 because that was the going rate on eBay. People are always selling action figures in crappy condition for $20 because they don't realize that that price is mint in box and all of the arms and legs are required. Like, I just wanna grab a TMNT toy for my kids. I'm not paying $20 for your broken toy. It used to be about persistence and digging up a good deal somewhere. Now, I may as well just buy it off of eBay. The cost is the same and my house smells better than most of the people at the flea markets. People throwing garage sales don't seem to understand that garage sales are meant for getting rid of unwanted stuff. Getting money for it is just a bonus. You need to price that stuff at the point where you get a little something, but it still flies off the table, or you gotta be open to haggling. If you want top dollar, go on Craigslist, price it fairly, and drop the price gradually until it's gone. I once saw a printer laying on the side of the road in the rain. A few days later I went to the yard sale across the street from where I saw said printer, and there it was with a $200 tag on it. It still had the mud and pine needles on it. At a garage sale I'm not paying more than $50 for a working printer. Edit. 20 years ago I spent $40 on a high performance office laser printer which at the time turned out to be worth around $1,500. No, I'm not shelling out $50 for someone's old broken inkjet. You can't stop telling me I'm crazy for spending so much. Not all printers are the same and sometimes you can get a really good deal. Just going over to your friend's house or the park unannounced to see if they were there and hang out. I miss this. When you had to physically go hunt your friend down and link all the clues you had together. Like, well, her mom said she left for the corner store like 10 minutes ago, but her bike is parked at the river so she probably took X path to get there, and blah 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 until you found them, lol. At Disneyland, after you had ridden on the Haunted Mansion ride, you could ask a member of staff to provide you with a special secret death certificate to say that you died on the ride. Obviously it's not legally binding. It was a secret, but when I was younger and visited Disneyland, my mother heard someone request it, and after asking them about it, then we all got one. Unfortunately, with the advent of the internet, the secret got out, and too many people were asking for death certificate, so Disney in their infinite wisdom scrapped the little Easter egg. I've since lost mine and had one day hope to get one for my child. AOL chatrooms. Around 2006-ish, the internet moved from being a way to talk to new people to a way to keep talking to people you already know. That's super useful and all, but there was a lot to be said for building friendships with total strangers who you only knew by a username but would still chat to every night. It was part of the internet of discovery rather than the internet of familiarity. I miss it at times. It was nice to have it be so easy to build those connections. BBS systems. When I was a kid there were local bulletin board systems. We chatted, we left messages, arranged Doom death matches and played door games. Then you'd see those people in real life, at school and user meetups. It was all local. That's how I met my husband. We met through his BB when we were 16. Been married now 18 years, together for 23 years.